Hello everyone, welcome to the very first video on this new channel. My name's Jonny, and if you're into Football Manager, welcome along. This has been a long time coming. I've played FM for a while, and it's something that I thought about doing for a while, but obviously we didn't get a game last year, and being in FM24, it probably wouldn't have hit the same as it is right now. FM26 is on the horizon, new engine, women's football, new interface, loads of improvements. It just feels like it's kind of a clean slate. So there's not a more perfect time than to launch this channel with a new game coming out so we can actually try and get something built together. On the channel you can expect a lot of saves, a lot of series, cool experiments, a lot of wonder kids coming through, and maybe the odd meltdown, who knows. But if that sounds good to you, please subscribe. Follow us over on TikTok as well. There's a lot of content over there. And let's get into the bulk of today's video. So you're probably thinking, like me, the weeks before Football Manager comes out or a new Football Manager comes out and the cycle starts, you're going to be thinking, what teams am I going to start with? What saves am I going to do? What challenges am I thinking of doing? I've been thinking the same. So in this video, I've got about 4 ideas that I'm personally thinking of doing. Hopefully you might be able to take some inspiration from me, but obviously I'm practically a beginner in this space, so I wouldn't be trying to do that. But let's get straight into it and see what I've picked as my first save to do on Football Manager 26. So save number 1 is for club that I support. I feel like it's a perfect warm-up save for the new game. Get everything sorted, get everything learned, all the new systems, all the new tactics menus and the visualizer, the new user interface, all of that stuff. It'll definitely help. For me, it's Manchester United. Before anyone says that's too easy, we're still transitioning. God, we've been terrible this season so far. We've got a really good mix of young talent and experience. Hopefully, with the right tactics and the right way to go about it, I feel like it could be a good save to do. Also, since it's the start of a new game, it just gives me an opportunity to try and learn everything and try and see what I can change myself from FM24 into now. Obviously, the in and out of possession tactics, which means there's double the tactics that I have to try and figure out how to put together. And also, just it's a new game, so you want to get off with the best start possible. Save idea number 2 is a sort of non-league to glory kind of series. It's a pretty normal Football Manager experience, but it's still one of the most satisfying types of saves you can do. My plan is to go with my local club, Stockton Town, which are currently in the Northern Premier Division, which is about step 7 in the English pyramid. They are the league below the National League North, depending on what custom database drops early for the lower league English teams. In Football Manager 24, I took them from the Northern Premier Division 1 East to the Champions League, and we won that 4 times in a row. We built a really good youth academy. We produced new gens and found new gens that were really, really good. We won a Ballon d'Or with a couple of them, and yeah, that was a really, really satisfying save to do, and it took me a while, and that's what I really enjoyed about it. It is really the ultimate underdog story. You go from part-time to full-time and then to world-class. You build something that feels like it's your team, from lower league up into the Europeans and eventually the Champions League. It's something that's yours, and you get to go through it as the architect of the entire thing. But you can do this in any country. You could do it in France's lower leagues, the Spanish regional leagues, Germany, Italy, anywhere. So if that's something that interests you, that's definitely a way to go in this game. Save idea number 3 is a build a nation, which is more about changing the landscape of football in an entire country rather than just a town or a city. I tried this in Football Manager 24 with Malta, and I didn't really get it finished, but what the idea was getting a custom database. We took the worst rated club in the country, which was Santa Venera Lightnings. We tried to take them to the highest we could while also building up the Maltese national team as well. The goal wasn't just to try and win the league, it was to grow the youth development, produce homegrown talent, race for league's reputation, take over the national team, get the national team up to a Euros, a Champions League, a World Cup. Sorry, it's definitely the most long-term project out of all the saves that I've done. You're starting with awful facilities, no money, and a team that's practically bottom of the FIFA rankings, or very close to being. Malta's not just the only place to do this with. You could do it in San Marino, doing a San Marino challenge. Luxembourg, which you could do it with FC Vaduz, which is a well-known challenge in Football Manager. Andorra, the Faroes, or even over in the Caribbean or the Philippines, or any of them smaller nations that you could try and take right at the top. It's a patience game, but it's very satisfying, and obviously with women's football in the game, it could make a whole new experience and make the whole idea even deeper. Finally, it's the Hexagon challenge, which is probably my favourite type of save in Football Manager ever. Yeah, ever. Not familiar, the Hexagon challenge is about winning the top continental competition on every continent. So you've got the UEFA Champions League, the Copa Libertadores in South America, the CONCACAF Champions League in North America, the AFC Champions League in Asia, and the CAF Champions League in Africa. In FM24, I did this twice, but the second time round, we downloaded a custom database that had the OFC Champions League and Oceania in there as well, so it made it a lot longer and a lot more rewarding as well, because we got that extra little Champions League title in there as well. But now with women's football entering the game, it's got a whole new layer. So what I was thinking of doing is, if custom databases are available, so we'd win all 6 men's Champions Leagues, that includes the OFC, then go on to win the women's Champions Leagues as well, because I think I saw there was 3. So we have North America, South America, and obviously for UEFA Women's Champions League as well, which brings it to 9, which would be a whole massive save, a whole massive series that I think would be very, very fun to do. Maybe you could take it even further by managing both the men's and a women's national team as well and trying to win a trophy through there, which would be even more mind-boggling, but I think it would be even more rewarding as well. It would be the most complete save in any Football Manager in the history of the game. It's a complete test of Football Manager skills, squad building, adaptation, finances. You'll manage in places that you never would have otherwise, because where would you ever be managing in the Egyptian 4th Division if you weren't doing a Hexagon challenge? I'm very seriously considering this as one of my main Football Manager YouTube series. So if you'd be interested following along, let me know which one of these I should do. So looking back at it, it's the 4 are starting with your club that you support, so you get a feel for the game. A non-league to glory, which is basically the ultimate underdog story. A build a nation, which reshapes the footballing future of an entire country. And the Hexagon challenge, which would be the biggest Football Manager journey ever, which now including women's football, that'd probably be the most fun anyone could ever have, depending on your outlook on Football Manager. So let me know, what save would you like to see me do? Is there any that aren't on this list that you'd like to see me do or see me go through? Let me know. Do you have any save ideas of your own? Again, let me know in the comments. I'll be responding to every single comment. I want this to be a community where we can kind of share ideas and bounce off each other and see what everyone else is feeling. So that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed this first one. We'll be back with way more videos in the very near future. So hit like, hit subscribe, make sure your notifications are on so you don't miss anything. Also head over to TikTok and follow me on that, because there's a lot more content coming over there. Thanks everyone. See you later.